Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Once again, it is Sovereign Saturday. You know how we do. Anyway, want control in your life more than anything. When I talk about sovereignty, yeah, I might use that term, but it's really all about having control in your life. Having control over what you're doing. Now, I'll speak for myself. That's always something I wanted. That's always something, I don't care. Yes, I worked on 1,000 jobs, but they were all headed towards the same thing. Having some control in my life. Being to a point I could record something like this whatever time I want, do it the way I want, and be able to still make money. Be able to go out when I want, be able to work out when I want. That's ultimately what you want. When I talk about sovereignty, I ain't talking about like that sovereign citizen thing that some people be talking about. I'm talking about having control in your life. I ain't talking about being like some Sigma or something like that. You know, you could have that if that's what you want. But what I'm talking about is having control in your life. You know? Even if you working on a career or something, being in a position of management, you know, ultimately it means having your own business, but that could be a problematic too. But being in a business too, where you have some control, having some control, you have control over where you can live, you have control over how much money that you spend. Even what you're doing to bring in money. Now you won't have control over how much you bring in because that's up to other people to spend money with you. But you can still put yourself in a position where you can potentially get that much money. It's all about control. It's being able to walk the way you want to walk. It's being able to have a free tongue. Let me speak about that. That's one thing I can have now. A free tongue. I'm never, because you know, I've been on those 1,000 jobs. And I'm going to tell you what, one of the things that annoyed me was you got to watch what you say sometimes. Many a person, male or female, whatever, has gotten, and nowadays got to say whatever, but many a person has gotten fired from a job because they didn't have a free tongue. They had to put up with some crap from maybe a crappy coworker or even on a crappy job. At the very least, being a sovereign man means you're in the job that you want. If you have to work for other people, and you know, that's part of sovereignty too. It might be a career or something. You might want to be a police officer or a fireman, whatever. You know, your job, whatever, you just love your job. You still want to be in a position where you have control over that. You still want to be in a management position. You still want to be at a place where you're not worried. Let me say that again. You're not worried about being fired because you're in a position where you have that. Let me talk about that for a second, because on many of those jobs, I was always in a great position because I had that sovereign mindset. You know, I was connected with the right people. I was in the right position. I would work to the point where they couldn't just get rid of me. I've had quite a few jobs like that. They would have layoffs, or as they call it, RIFs, reduction in force, and I wouldn't worry about anything. I would still be there, because even on jobs when you're working for people, you need to be in a position of control. I wanted to say, okay, if I want this job, boom. There was only one such job I didn't have that. One such job out of 1,000 jobs, one such job I didn't have that. And trust me, I was glad to get out of there. I was glad to get out of there, because even then, I was still getting money from them. Yeah, because I was still making money off of them. You want to be in that position. You want to work towards having control over your life, you know? And you want to get whatever education you need to get, whatever certification. You want to build your knowledge base. You know, on my money channel, I talk about monetizing your knowledge. That's very important right here too. You want to be in a position, no matter what's going on, you can make money. Like, I'm in a position now, no matter what, I'm not worried about making money. I'm in a position now. Yeah, of course I can say I'm in that position because, I have this business, but even if I had to work for somebody else, I'm in a position where I can say, well, okay, this is how much I want. This is what I want to do for you. You want to work to be in that position. You want to have control where you can have control, leverage where you don't have outright control. Because, other than even some billionaires don't have outright control, but you still want to be in a position of leverage where people want to deal with you. And, that control thing, even in relationships, I don't talk about relationships that much, but you don't want to be in a position where you feel like you have to deal with that woman because that's the best you can do. That's not sovereign. You're not sovereign. Even there, you want to deal with the woman that you want to deal with, that you want to be with, who will be in cooperation with your operation. You don't want to be in a situation where you're dealing with a woman because you don't feel like you can get other women. You always want to remember that. You always want to be in a position of authority, power. You can make something happen no matter what it is in life. You can be, even when you buying stuff, when you buying a car, you want to be in a position where you can get the car that you want. The car you want. You're not in a position. Let me use that for an example. I remember when I had to get a car a few years ago, and it was one of those buy here, pay here things. And those cars, man, they some crap for real. I'm just gonna say that they some crap, but that was the position I was in because my credit wasn't as good as it could have been. But then I got to the position where I was able to get a new car if I wanted, but I actually got a used car because I wanted. But even then, I got a used car with less than 7,000 miles on it. And the reason I wanted to do that was they're a bit more inexpensive. I didn't want to just buy just some expensive car, which I can afford even to this day, just to be getting it. I wanted to get a car that get me from A to B without too much issues. You want to be in that position, You want to be in a position where you can do as you want, move as you want. That's ultimate control, or at least leverage. That's ultimate control. You want to have that, you want that. As long as you want that, as long as you're going for that, you can make it in life. You can be sovereign. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Like I said, control what you can, leverage where you can't have outright control. Then you at a position of true sovereignty. You have control over your life. Somebody else doesn't have it. And it could be I'm gonna be real, it could be very simple as simply having a driver's license, or not being in the criminal justice system. And even if you are working to get from that control, doing what you have to do. That's the main thing, all right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. You want to have control in your life. That's what sovereignty means. Having control controlling what you can control, having leverage where you can't outright control it, all right? So anyway, that's all I have today. Keep rising to become the sovereign man that you are meant to be. Peace and blessings, everyone.